Hello students. Today we are going to deal with the class 10th topic, that is endocrine system. I'll complete this in 6 classes. So this is the introductory class of the chapter, first part. So what do you understand by endocrine system? Endocrine system is actually a system which regulate all your body functions with the help of hormones. We already discussed neural control of body. This is chemical coordination and chemical control on body, where certain chemicals are regulating the functions and the growth of the body. So these are the chemical messenger system. Basically, the chemicals are regulating each and every function of body. That's why it's called as endocrine system. Endocrine means the ductless glands which are secreting hormones directly in the bloodstream. So endocrine system consists of endocrine glands, and endocrine glands are secreting endocrine chemical messenger which is called as hormones. So what is the difference between the endocrine glands and the exocrine glands? As I have given in the diagram, endocrine glands are ductless gland, means the glands which are not having any pipe or tube. They directly pour their secretion into the bloodstream, and blood is carrying it to the target site. That's why it is called as endocrine gland. But if you will see liver is having a pipe, it is having bile duct, it is having hepatic duct, even pancreas is having a pancreatic duct. So those glands which are having a duct and they are releasing their secretions into the pipe, those are called as exocrine gland. But the ductless glands are called as endocrine gland, and there is a question in the board examination, differentiate between exocrine and endocrine gland with an example. So endocrine gland, ductless glands, these are example. If you want, you can write salivary gland, sorry, thyroid gland, pituitary gland. But salivary gland, if you are talking about, that is one of the exocrine gland because it is having the ducts. In the same way, liver is having duct. It is a kind of exocrine gland. Now move to the content which is secreted by the endocrine gland into the body. These chemicals are called as hormones, or hormones are also called as chemical messengers or chemical regulators of our body, which regulate various functions of our body. So properties of hormone could be asked from you in the exam. So few properties I have discussed here. First, they are directly secreted into the bloodstream. As I discussed already, there is no pipe, there is no tube. So whatever hormones are synthesized will be directly poured into the blood. Second, they are required in very small quantity, and that small quantity is sufficient for regulation in the body. If it is secreted more or less, it may create problem in the body or abnormalities which will be due to hypersecretion or hyposecretion of these hormones. It cannot be stored in the body, means whenever it is required by the body, it is synthesized and showing its action and regulation. It is always acting on the target site. What does it mean? For example, a hormone is secreted from the pituitary, that is thyroid stimulating hormone. Now this hormone is TSH, so it will not attack or it will not act on the kidney. It will act on the thyroid gland or activate its for its secretion. So a specific hormone is always working on a specific site. Then we have to discuss about the pituitary, sorry, pancreas one. So when we talk about pancreas, as I already told you, that pancreas is a dual gland. Dual, why? Because as a pancreatic endocrine gland, it secreted insulin, and as an exocrine gland, it secretes pancreatic amylase and trypsinogen. So these digestive enzymes are secreted with the help of a duct. If you remember digestive system, that's why it is called as dual gland. But here we have to consider here the peptide, means most of the hormones are made up of protein or polypeptide chain. One of the best example is insulin, but some of the hormones are made up of steroid, that all the reproductive or sex hormones are steroid hormone, like testosterone, androgen, estrogen are steroid hormone. So if features are asked in the examination, you can take any 3-4 features from here. If 4 features are asked, it will come for 2 marks, which is usually coming for the 2 marks only. If 6 features are asked, it will be having 3 marks. Now we have to see the location of various glands. As you can see here in the diagram, I have shown you certain location of the gland. which is in your course. So the first gland which I am talking about is pituitary gland. So this gland is located below the hypothalamus in the brain. Exact location is asked. So this is the exact location of the pituitary gland, which is hanging from the hypothalamus. Pineal gland is another gland which is located near pituitary, but pineal is not in your course. Next, we are moving with the thyroid gland. That is the second gland we have to study. It is located in the neck region. Its role we will discuss in the chart. And inside thyroid gland, they have drawn it here somewhere else to show you the structure, but actually the thyroid, parathyroid gland is present at the four corners of the thyroid gland. So parathyroid gland we will discuss along with thyroid gland. Then we are having a gland in pair, very important gland for the exam, that is adrenal gland, which is located as a cap-like structure on the top of the kidney. Both the kidneys, you can see this gland is there. It releases emergency hormone. What is it? We will discuss later on. Now we'll be having the pancreas, the dual gland. This fifth gland is dual gland. Only 1% part of pancreas is endocrine. So we are discussing it under the heading of endocrine glands. Then sixth number we have to discuss the gonads. Gonads are two, testes and ovaries. We will discuss them in detail in different bodies, male and female. Here, when we talk about the pineal gland, it's not in your course, but see, it's releasing a hormone called as melatonin. Now, this hormone is regulating your daily cycle. Second, it's not in our course, so we are not focusing much on this. Move to the pituitary gland. It is a bilobed structure, pea seed-like gland, which is releasing so many hormones, which we are going to discuss in the next class. These are growth hormone, then thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, prolactin, antidiuretic hormone, and oxytocin. So this we will discuss in next class. But this gland is called as, there is a question in the board examination, why the pituitary is called as master gland, because it regulates rest all the endocrine glands of the body. But its own function, if you are discussing, it releases somatotropin hormone, which regulates height and growth. So abnormality causes gigantism and dwarfism because of deficiency. We will be discussing in the next class. Thyroid gland is the next gland. As I told you, it is located in the neck region. It is releasing triiodothyronine, tetraiodothyronine, and calcitonin, which is basically regulating overall metabolism of the body, or you can say BMR is also regulated by thyroid gland. Roughly, like suppose 1 mark question is coming and nothing is in your mind, so in that case, you can directly write things from this flow chart and table so that you will at least get 1 or 2 marks. And in detail, we will be discussing it. Okay. Next is parathyroid gland. As I told, these are four small glands located at the corners of the thyroid gland. It releases PTH, full form parathyroid hormone, yeah, parathormone. Now, it regulates calcium and phosphate balance in the body and the blood. Then we are next having the adrenal gland. Now, this adrenal gland is located on the top of the kidney, fitted as a cap. So, it releases two hormones, adrenaline and noradrenaline. Now, adrenaline is the hormone of emergency. Noradrenaline is a calming hormone, and its boundary, you can say, wall is secreting certain hormones, cortisol and aldosterone. We will be discussing them in detail. But ultimately, this gland is called as gland of emergency. Very important gland, as I told you, it's asked in the board examination. Why it is called as gland of emergency? Because it regulates stress, it provides immediate energy by increasing the BP, also maintains salt water balance and metabolism. Then we are going to the dual gland. What is the dual gland? These last two glands are called as dual gland. Why? I have told you. Pancreas is a dual gland, but only 1% part of pancreas is islets of Langerhans, which is releasing insulin and glucagon for regulating the blood sugar level in the body. Next, we are having gonads. Gonads means reproductive organs, testes and ovaries. We have to discuss here. Now, this testis is releasing testosterone and androgen, and ovaries are releasing estrogen and progesterone. These hormones are performing dual functions. First, it is making their own, you can say, gametes. Testis is producing sperms and ovaries are producing egg. In the same way, these hormones are regulating secondary sexual characters in male and female respectively. But here, this testis and ovaries are also acting as a dual gland. Why dual gland? Because testis is also releasing the sperm by the vas deferens with a duct. In the same way, ovaries are releasing egg with a duct that is called as oviduct. So, in this way, roughly I have covered the topics which we have to discuss in detail. So, systematically, with the help of flowchart, we will be discussing this in detail. Thank you. See you in the next class. Bye.